All right, welcome back. Whitlock and Wiley, joined now by Fox NBA analyst Iceberg Jim Jackson. All right, let's move to the NBA, where top overall pick Zion Williamson didn't exactly light up the Summer League, playing less than one half before suffering a bone bruise and being shut down by the Pelicans. Now Coach K says Zion shouldn't have played at all because he was out of shape. And our good friend Kendrick Perkins also expressed some concerns about Zion playing in New Orleans, tweeting, quote, Pelicans better lock Zion in a house because I can hear those good people in New Orleans saying, hey, baby, you want some of this fried gator, baby? I'm telling y'all, I'm everywhere. You know, Kendrick's joking, but it is, I think it's serious. You know, I've spent some time in New Orleans and I've spent some time with a weight problem. And it's hard to correct. And so watching Zion in that Summer League game, that half, I did get the dude's 25 pounds overweight, and it does concern me.
Some questions we should just skip, Whitlock. Let's just be real. We the wrong show to be talking about. So I mean, can you see another show out there with these co-hosts tilting at 500 plus? He got a weight problem.
But that's the key to it.
Yeah,
you can speak on it.
We can speak on it because we're guilty of it. Let's say this. I think that one, sports media, we're so thirsty to talk about Zion that we're going to use a knee-to-knee contact issue to go deeper into his weight.
I don't believe it was that, though.
What was it?
I think they got him off the court. If you watched him play in that first game, they made the right call getting him off the court.
Yeah, look, he was 4 of 9, had 11 points, 3 rebounds.
3 dunks.
Steal it. Hey, do what you're best at, do what you're comfortable at in your first NBA game, even though it's Summer League. I say this about his weight issue. He didn't have the resources and the time to really apply himself to his body as he's still growing. As we've learned from some of the greats in all sports, whether it be a Tom Brady and TB12, which is a walking evolution of learning about your body and your mind and how to really be one in terms of your game, Zion is a baby who had math and astrology to deal with on top of going to the gym. Now he has full focus on his body. I think the baby fat comes off, and I think he gets in prime shape.
I know this is a cliche, and we say it a lot in sports, or you tell our kids, you know what you don't know, which is Zion was used to...
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Zion was accustomed to being able to shake and move and do what he wants, still go play and hoop. At this level, it's totally different. So keep in mind, from the time he left school till he got drafted to the Summer League, he was on this world tour, doing commercials, doing events, accepting awards. How you balance that with now being a professional, you don't know because you haven't been there. That's why it's so critical once he gets to New Orleans, where I tend to think that things will change a little bit. Guys like Drew Holiday, I think Jahlil Okafor, I think Derek Favors, veterans who can talk to him and say, this is what you must do to be a professional. Also, having David Griffin there. David was there with LeBron and had to deal with the hype, the expectations, and what it means to be in that position and how to handle it on and off the court. So Zion is now learning, no, you just can't come and hoop and not take this part serious. Yeah. He's young, so I'm going to chalk that up to that. But the experience part of it is going to come from once he gets in New Orleans with the veterans, and I think with David Griffin's guidance.
Look, Mike Krzyzewski loves Zion Williamson. Oh, yeah. It's important for Duke's brand, the whole nine. For him to come out and say anything is a sign. It's a signal. It's like there's some concern. And Coach K is turned on that TV, I'm sure, or who knows, maybe he was there and was like, whoa.
And saw him.
Yeah, this is an issue because I'm just going to tell you, if you remember before that game, I'm completely on the Zion bandwagon, and I still am.
Yeah.
I think Zion's going to be a force. But when I watched that game, virtually every time he drove to the hoop, if he didn't dunk, he had trouble just even getting the shot off.
Man, finishing.
Just getting the shot off. I'm not talking about finishing. I'm just talking about getting the shot off. And it's because it was like, oh, my God. He's too big. He looks like he's 290. And his athleticism at 290 is not overpowering the Summer League. And so I thought the little bump of the knee bruise, I thought they pulled him off the court. It's like, look, man, confidence is the key to everything in any sport. And it can be taken just as quickly as it can be gained. And I felt like they protected him by pulling him off the court. And Coach K is offering more protection. Don't put this man on the court until he drops 25 pounds. Don't put him out there in public.
You're right. Coach K was giving Zion a DM, basically, of self-empowerment and self-help. Basically, they taking you around the world, but they ain't taking you in the gym. And you need to be the one that says, stop, pause, I need to handle business, priority one. He's 19 years young. Can we remember that every time we open our mouth about this kid? When it's blurry to you in your first game, I remember my first game ever. It was against one of my idols, John Elway, in Mile High Stadium. And I was so pumped, so excited. I didn't do any of the things that I knew to do because I was just so pumped to be in that moment. The clarity comes from the confidence, as you said. And that confidence comes from you being involved, you being around the pros, you being comfortable in a new environment. And once he gets comfortable in the new environment, I think all these things start to go. The green lights, the game slows down. But in one half of a professional game, our evaluation should either be positive or nothing. Because if you say anything negative about him, it's just too premature.
Well, I think, too, just push it forward. I think this is a very good learning experience, a humbling experience for Zion. To understand that when you come into the league, you're not just going to overpower, athleticize your opponent. Even if these are not the top pros, these are still pros playing out there on the court. So to me, it kind of gives you that humble pie a little bit to peel back and say, what am I serious about? And at 19 years old, again, you got to kind of go through this. As a rookie, I didn't have it because I held out.
Yeah.
I only played 28 games. So that excitement that you're talking about, mine was delayed until I finally got to the Mavericks in March. And again, my excitement on the court, I'm running around with my head cut off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But I was 22. And I kind of been through some things. But with Zion, again, I'm going to say this, being 19, but having David Griffith, I think there is the key to me to how now he progresses and understands how to be a professional, which takes some time.
Well, I've been 19 and had a sweet tooth. And it's tough, man. It's tough. And that's what I think Coach K is sending a bad signal like, hey, man, we managed this dude and what he every day at Duke. And clearly he's not under management right now. And he's been put out there in a way. I'm just telling you, I watched that and I know we were texting back and forth early on during that game when he couldn't make a shot. Then he got some dunks. And I'm just it's concerning. The kid has great potential, but at 265, not at 290. Coming up, did old man Tom Brady just set a new 40-yard dash record?
What?
TV's hottest look at social media. X!